Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be, what if you're completely wrong? I don't mean this in an insulting way, but what if you're completely wrong? I'll get to what I mean in a minute. As we listen to these crazy cicadas, let's take a nice couple of deep breaths. Breathe in the confidence. Breathe out the skepticism. Breathe in the bravery. Breathe out the fear. Breathe in nature. Breathe out the chaos and the noise. I know that's kind of silly saying breathe out the noise and get rid of that when we've got all these bugs around, but at least they don't swarm, they're up in the trees. So, what if you're completely wrong? And again, not in an insulting way, but you wouldn't believe how often I hear people say, well, this TMS stuff sounds interesting or cool, or I think that's what's going on with me, but I won't be able to get better because, and then they come up with a reason. Because they think their pain started for some other reason other than this mind-body distraction mechanism that Sarno spoke about. They're saying, well, my pain is not stress-induced, so this doesn't really apply to me. So I wish it did, but it doesn't. And so what I will really, really, really caution you against is looking for reasons that this is not going to work. Because I'm getting to the point, the longer I do this, I don't care how your pain started. I believe that pain works a certain way. The brain works a certain way. And when we realize how it works, the purpose of pain, what it's doing, why it, how we can teach it to become chronic and persistent, it almost doesn't matter. My core belief is if your pain began as an injury, a fall, a surgery, a break, something, and you still have pain, months, years later, that I believe is what I'll refer to as learned pain. Some other pain scientists call that neuroplastic pain, meaning those neural connections have wired together. Fear, focus, and anxiety about the symptoms and about the pains teach the brain to keep those neural connections firing. My belief is if you can learn to keep the pain going, you can unlearn it. And so if we know the way into chronic pain, fear, focus, and anxiety, the way out is to stop focusing on it. Don't fear it. Don't be anxious about it. Just know that the brain will get the message and let go of these pain signals once it realizes that the original purpose of pain, which is to stop you from doing something that's dangerous, is not present anymore, right? So, if you're telling yourself that I can't get better because something, I can't get better because I've had the pain for too long, it's hardwired. Took me 13 years and I finally got out of pain. I hear success stories all the time of people saying, I had migraines daily for 42 years. A lady I worked with a number of years ago, she got rid of chronic back pain, sciatica, and fibro-like symptoms that she had had most of her adult life. And she was 67 years old at the time. And so, don't sell yourself short. I think if you're telling yourself all the reasons why you cannot get better, why this doesn't apply to you, you might be completely wrong. And what a disservice that would be to yourself by convincing yourself that, yeah, I've had 10 years worth of medical treatments and none of it worked and I've just gotten worse and worse and worse. And now here's this hopeful diagnosis that actually teaches you what is going on and what caused it in the first place. And I know we don't want to be disappointed. I know that. But why are we so quick to discard this TMS, mind-body syndrome, distraction pain, stress-caused illness, stress response pain? Why are we so quick to dismiss it? Now, some people will say, I don't think I can beat it. I'm just too emotional. My life is too stressful. Well, I also don't believe that's accurate. You could be completely wrong with that. Our brain's going to listen to the things we think and believe most often. So if you say to yourself, this TMS stuff is pretty cool, but it's not going to work for me, your brain's listening. And so it's going to keep on doing what it's been doing because you have not given it any instructions to let go of the pain. And the way we give the instructions is we shift our focus away from it as often as possible. We learn to become indifferent to the pain. Literally don't care. Instead of, oh my God, be like, whatever. Off you go, pain. Right? Learning to feel our emotions. And I don't think we need to journal about every childhood mishap and trauma that we've ever had. If your pain came upon you in your 40s, I don't think it happened from something that, happened in 3rd grade. So my belief, focus on your right now emotions. What's going on emotionally right now? And if all you're doing is coming up with emotions about the pain, ask what else, because there will be something else. And if you need to, go a little bit backwards in time to when the pain first started and notice that. And if the pain has escalated, what's going on emotionally, stress-wise, life events, socially, situationally, pressure, work, that type of stuff. So what if you're completely wrong when you tell yourself and others, I don't think it's going to work. You do not have a problem that needs to be fixed. Your body is already fine. That's the core principle of TMS is there's nothing wrong with your body. Whew, isn't that great, right? Another core principle is that your emotions are actually safe, and they are. They just make you a normal human being. So the other thing I will say is if you've been prone to anxiety and have struggled, in quotes, with anxiety for much of your life, and you've got this belief that I've always been an anxious person, so I'm never going to be able to beat this. These statements, these certainties that you're basically declaring to yourself may be the only thing that's going to stop you from getting better. And so you're probably selling yourself short if you're talking yourself out of even trying. And I get it. I know why we don't want to try. We've been disappointed. We've had treatment after treatment after treatment. I even had somebody say to me, Dan, this is my last shot, and if this doesn't work, I'll be devastated. So they don't even try. It's weird. It's like fear of failure. It's real. So if this doesn't work, and I put a good effort in, and it still doesn't work, then I'm really screwed. So maybe I can just stay in the hopeful phase where I'm thinking, well, maybe this TMS is good and I'll read some books, but I'm never really going to start taking action and start implementing the mindset changes that are necessary because I'm afraid if it doesn't work, then I'll be really disappointed and completely hopeless. But I will tell you, if you keep on telling yourself that you can't get better or you won't be able to get better because you've always been anxious, your life is really stressful, I've got a husband and a wife who drives me crazy, or my kids are driving me nuts, or my parents are getting older and driving me nuts, and I can't get better as long as that's going on, and I can't get better because I'm not capable of feeling my emotions, I'm too much of a wreck. All these stories that you're telling yourself are absolutely selling yourself short. And they will keep you right where you are now, which is with continuing and persistent symptoms. So every time you say, this isn't going to work for me, or I can't do this, I want you to hear my voice. What if you're completely wrong about that? What if you could actually get better? What if you could eliminate these symptoms for once and for all? What if you could, but you just convince yourself that you couldn't? We talk about regret a lot in this TMS community and how we regret all the years we lost to the pain. Regret's kind of an ugly beast. What if you could actually get better, but you didn't even give yourself permission to take the chance? And I know I'm calling some of you guys and gals, calling you out. Because if you are making these, I won't say excuses, but if you've got these reasons or justifications why this TMS stuff sounds good for other people, but I'm different, my symptoms are different, you know? And I get it. The books were written about back pain. I get it. So a lot of common symptoms that people say, I'm different. I don't see much success for symptoms like mine. Trigeminal neuralgia, pudendal neuralgia, pelvic floor dysfunctions, bladder issues. Those are very common TMS symptoms that are not as common as the back pain. So a lot of people will go, but mine's different. And I see people all the time when there's a success story. Right away, certain people will jump in and go, what were your symptoms? What were your symptoms? And I will tell you, the symptoms do not matter. It manifests itself differently in everybody. Really, look, there's some common ones, you know, the back pain, sciatica, all that kind of stuff, migraines, neck pain, shoulder pain, some common ones. But the trigeminal neuralgia, the facial pain, the pelvic pain, these are way more common than you realize. I hear from people every single week with these types of things. And my message is always the same. Despite the severity and the awful placement of the symptoms, it's still TMS. Do the assessments. Go to danbuglio.com/pain test. There's a pain test there. It's a 10-question quiz. It'll take you 5 minutes. Take that test with regard to your symptoms. If you have multiple symptoms, take the test once per symptom and find out for sure. Any score over 29 means you can get better. It means it's TMS. And so if you've done the assessments, and I've got a longer one at painforyou.com, but if you've done the assessments and it indicates, yeah, that's TMS, or you've been to a TMS doctor and you're still convincing yourself that I can't get better, or it still might be structural or physical, you're selling yourself short. And what if you're completely wrong in your decision that you can't get better? Think of the time you'll waste. Think of the regret you'll have when you finally come through the other side and go, holy crap, I could get better, and I did get better, but I spent years telling myself I couldn't. I could have gotten better so much faster, sooner, earlier. I could have enjoyed my life so much sooner and earlier, so much more completely while I was still young. Please don't regret the fact that you may be convincing yourself that you won't get better, and your brain is listening. So don't sell yourself short. Don't convince yourself you can't get better, because I will tell you, if you've done the self-assessments and it's TMS, you're completely wrong about the fact that you cannot get better. Are you actually choosing not to move forward for fear of it not working out and not wanting to be disappointed? A real good question is, what do I want to do when I grow up? Sort of, not grow up, but you get what I mean. When I'm done with these symptoms, what do I want to do with my life? Yesterday's video, start architecting and creating that. And another good question is, if you're aware of this and studying it, but you're not really taking any action. You're not working on your mindset. You're not working on shifting your focus away from the symptoms to something else. If you're not practicing soothing and getting your body and your thinking out of the stress response, if you're not feeling your emotions on a regular basis, why? Are you getting something out of being in pain? Are you getting support of others, care from others that you're worried you wouldn't have if you were pain-free? I'm not saying we brought this on ourselves intentionally to get attention, but if we've been in this position long enough, it's kind of easy to go, wow, if I didn't have pain, I might not have the support of my family. They might not help me. They might not take care of me. They might not feel sorry for me. And again, if anybody's taking offense to that, please don't. But it's a useful question to ask for anybody who knows what TMS is, believes it's real, believes it's probably what's going on with them, but yet they're not really taking any forward steps towards, feeling emotions, soothing yourself, getting the right mindset of indifference, shifting your focus away from it, and basically saying, I'm going to live my darn life, whether I hurt or not. And again, I've mentioned this before, but somebody somewhere said, I think it was a comment, somebody said, when your life and living it becomes more important than your fixation and focus on the pain, and you start to engage with life and living more often, your brain will get the message. So what do you guys think? Are you one of those folks who keeps on telling themselves, yeah, I believe it's TMS, but I don't think I can get better, or I can't get better because any number of reasons? If that's you, comment below. Let me know why you think you cannot get better. I read all these comments and I will answer. So if you tell me why you don't think you can get better, I might be able to reframe something for you. So comment below, please. All right, that's all I got on this one. Listen to the cicadas. Certainly beats the neighbor's tractor. So, love you guys and gals. We will talk to you in the next video. See ya.